Hello students, welcome to the biology class. We are continuing with our same chapter, how do organisms reproduce. In our previous sessions we discussed about the male reproductive system, about the structure of the sperm, and today we are going to start with sexual cycle in females. First we will discuss female reproductive system. It consists of primary sex organ, a pair of ovaries, secondary duct, a pair of fallopian tubes, accessory reproductive organ, that is uterus, vagina and vulva. So one by one we will discuss each and every organ of the female reproductive system. In this image you can see, this is very important diagram. That is the ovary, that is a pair of ovaries are there, and that is the secondary duct known as your fallopian tube, and they have this finger like projection known as fimbriae. So when the ova is being released from the ovary, it is being collected by this finger like projection fimbriae and passes into the fallopian tube. This is the site where the fertilization takes place, and this sac-like structure, inverted pear-like structure, bag-like structure is known as the uterus, where the implantation of fertilized egg takes place, where the growth of the embryo takes place. This is cervix. This is cervical canal and vagina, through which the delivery of the child takes place, also known as the birth canal. So first we will discuss the pair of ovaries. A pair of almond-shaped ovaries are primary sex organ because it performs two important functions. So primary sex organ because it performs two important functions. Number one is production of ova or egg and secretion of female sex hormone, that is estrogen. Same as that in the male reproductive system, testes are known as the primary sex organs because they are performing two important functions. Number one is the production of the sperm, and number two is the secretion of the male sex hormone, that is testosterone. Similarly, the ovaries are also known as the primary sex organs. Paired ovaries are located in the abdominal cavity near the kidney, and one egg is produced every month alternately by one of the ovaries. So the left ovary will produce the egg, so next month the right ovary will produce the egg. A pair of fallopian tubes or oviduct. Fallopian tubes are the paired tubes originated from the uterus, one on either side of it. Fallopian tubes extend up to the ovary to their respective sites. The terminal part of fallopian tube is funnel shaped with the finger-like projection called as fimbriae lying near the ovary. Fimbriae picked up the ovum released from the ovary to the fallopian tube. Fallopian tube is the site of fertilization. Site of fertilization means where the fertilization takes place. The next is the uterus. It is a single, pear-shaped, highly muscular, hollow structure present in the pelvic cavity between the urinary bladder and the rectum. Development of the fetus occurs inside the uterus, hence called as womb. Vagina is a short, wide and muscular tube. Uterus open into vagina. It is a female copulatory organ. It acts as a birth canal during the childbirth. The next is vulva. It is the external genitalia of human female. So after finishing the various parts of the female reproductive system, the very important section of the sexual reproduction is the sexual cycle in female. So basically there are the two steps in the female. Number one, if the egg get fertilized, then what will be the conditions? And if egg is not fertilized, then what will happen? So we are having two conditions, that when the egg is being released from the ovary and passes into the fallopian tube, then the two conditions are there. If egg get fertilized, then what will happen? And if the egg is not fertilized, then what will happen? So first we are taking, if the egg get fertilized, that is a normal sexual cycle in the female. So after puberty, only one egg is produced alternately from one ovary after a period of 28 days. Egg or ova in fallopian tube encounters the sperms which enter through the vaginal passage during the sexual intercourse or copulation. The fusion of nuclei of the sperm and ovum takes place in the fallopian tube, known as fertilization. That's why the fallopian tube is known as the site of fertilization. In human being, fertilization is internal. With the act of fertilization, a single-celled zygote is formed. So first the egg is released, passes into the fallopian tube. Here that was a fusion between the sperm and the ovum. Fertilization takes place. With the result of fertilization, the zygote is formed. So here in this process you can see that is 23 pairs of chromosome in the female, 23 pairs of the chromosome in the male. During the formation of gamete meiosis, the egg is formed, which is 23, and this is 23. They fuse, the fertilization, that is the zygote formation takes place in the fallopian tube. Now this zygote undergoes the mitosis, that is the equational division, to form the embryo, and that embryo will be implanted in the uterus. It will develop into the fetus within the 9 months, and then the delivery of the fetus or the child takes place. This is the process of sexual cycle in female. So the next is the zygote divide rapidly by mitosis and get implanted in the lining of the uterus, which later form the embryo, called implantation. Once the embryo is implanted in the uterus, the female is pregnant. So the condition comes when the egg gets fertilized and implanted. The condition is known as pregnancy, and the female is pregnant. At this stage, embryo gets nutrition from mother's blood with the help of special tissue called placenta. The development of an embryo in mother's uterus is called gestation period. In human, it lasts for about 280 days or 9 months. The child is born as a result of rhythmic contraction of the muscles in the uterus called parturition. So when the uterus is fully developed into the fetus after the 9 months, then there is a neuroendocrine reflexes, or the messages will go and they will produce the rhythmic contraction in the muscles of the uterus with the help of the hormone, and the baby is born. The process is known as parturition. So this is the condition when the egg is fertilized. The next is what happens when the egg is not fertilized. So if the egg is not fertilized, it lives for about 1 day in the uterus. The uterus prepares itself every month to receive the fertilized egg. So what happens? every month the egg is being released. So while the egg is released, the uterus will prepare itself to receive the fertilized egg. How the uterus is prepared and what changes takes place in the uterus lining become thick and spongy to receive the zygote. If it does not get zygote, the developed lining slowly breaks down and comes out through vagina as blood and mucus as menstrual flow, and this is called as menstruation. It usually lasts for about 3 to 5 days, and this cycle of menstruation is repeated again after every 28 days. Again the egg will be formed, again the egg will be released, passes into the fallopian tube. In the meantime, the uterus will prepare itself, that becomes thicky and spongy, to receive the fertilized egg, that is the zygote. If the zygote is formed, the pregnancy is there, and if the zygote is not formed, then the developed lining will slowly breaks and comes out in the form of a blood and the mucus, and this is called as menstruation. So here in this flow chart it will be again more clear. That is, female ovary, they produce egg or ova once a month, either from side, that is left or right. The uterus wall will become thick every month. Fine. And if the fertilized by the sperm, means if the egg get fertilized, if there is a fertilization, the condition is pregnancy. And then there will be the development of embryo. Then embryo will be there for the 9 months, that is gestation, and then there will be the delivery of child. But if not fertilized by the sperm, egg, uterus wall, blood vessels shed away. Matlab they are going to be cast off, they are going to be removed and cause the bleeding in the females, and that is called as the menstruation, and it repeats after every 28 days. So what is menarche and what is menopause? So the onset of menstruation in the girls after attaining the puberty is called menarche, means the formation of egg after every 28 days. Opposite to that, offset of menstruation at the age of 40 to 45 years is called menopause, when the female stop producing the egg. So here you can see that is birth is there. So after the puberty, pre-membrane menarche means the menstruation starts, formation of ova is there, then that is the post-menarche, then it is pre-menopause, then pre-menopause, then there comes the menopause. Means that is no formation of egg will be there, and then it will the death, that is a post-menopause. The age of menarche is 10 to 12 years and the menopause is 40 to 45 years. Very important question, that is, what is placenta and what is its role during pregnancy? The disc-shaped special tissue embedded in the uterine wall. The fetus part of placenta is formed of villi which lie embedded in the maternal blood spaces. So that is a very special tissue by which there is a communication, there is a connection between the embryo and the mother in the uterine wall, through which the various functions are being performed. It provides nutrition and oxygen to the fetus from mother's blood. It removes carbon dioxide and nitrogenous waste from the blood to the fetus, and moreover it produces hormones, progesterone, for maintaining the pregnancy, because placenta will be formed only when that is a fertilized egg implantation takes place, and then for maintaining the pregnancy the various changes takes place. The hormone which is required, that is progesterone, is also going to be formed or released by that special tissue known as the placenta. So that is what is placenta, what is the role of placenta, what is the function of placenta. That is very important question. That is your NCERT exercise question 2. So with this we finish about our human reproduction, in which we discuss about the male reproductive system. Then we discuss about each and every function of the part of the male reproductive system. What is the structure of the sperm? What is the function of the sperm? Then we discuss about the female reproductive systems, and then we discuss about the changes, means if the egg get fertilized then what will happen, and if the egg is not fertilized then what changes will be there. Along with that we discuss about the puberty, the various changes takes place in the girl and the boy during the puberty, and then what is placenta and what is role during the pregnancy. In our next lesson, and that is the last part of this chapter, that is reproductive health, because till now we discussed that how the child is going to be born, what is reproduction, what is sexual reproduction, what is asexual reproduction. But in reproductive health we will discuss that how to control the birth rate. So various methods by which we can control the birth rate, that is the various contraceptive devices. So that we will discuss in our next lesson. Till then, stay home, stay happy. Thank you.